Wonderful. You may be seated. Confirmation class 27 so far this year. As Rabbi Pomerantz already mentioned, the Torah portion we read this afternoon, Kiddushim, is found in the book of Leviticus and has been termed the Holiness Code by biblical scholars and rabbis alike. This blueprint for how to maintain a holy life in imitation of Adonai begins with the opening verse where God says to Moses, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and say to them, 'You shall be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy.'" Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch makes the statement about this portion that no station in life, no sex, no age, no state of personal fortune is excluded from this call to strive for the heights of absolute morality. Nor is this call addressed to any one individual apart from all others. We must all be Kiddushim, holy. You and I and us and them. God is speaking to everyone, everywhere, whoever was and whoever will be. So here the term you, plural, or as many of you say, y'all, is told by God through Moses to be holy because God is holy. And in the same understanding, you, plural, implies that not only the individual among us should strive for holiness, but that our entire community must do so to positively observe this commandment set forth by God. But this statement might seem slightly confusing. Don't you all remember when we were at Sinai a little bit ago? We were designated as a heightened status by God. I believe the phrase used was the chosen people. Well, we were all there, right? Remember? Good. So why now? Why are we being told now to strive for holiness as opposed to simply just celebrate it, be satisfied with our lot, gloat even in the fact that we are the chosen people? Well, at least how I understand it is that Leviticus 19, the Holiness Code, continually sets forth a life of aspiration and hope for our future as a people and as individuals, to challenge our souls to reach beyond our status quo and to always be striving for something better, something more, something godlike. So just as a parent imparts guidelines for values, beliefs, and love onto his children throughout a lifetime of his own actions, so too does this section of the Torah. Here, God clearly calls upon the Jewish people to strive towards a holiness that he himself has set as an example before us, that we, God's children, should follow, exemplify, not just in our thoughts, but in our souls and in our lives for our generation and the generations to come. The Zohar states, God sometimes hides himself from our minds, but always shows himself to our hearts. So I pray that in this new year and always, Holy One, true and ultimate maker and shaper, help us to live this day as if it were the first day of creation, and that everything we encounter is nearly newly glistening and a miracle to our eyes. You are holy, Adonai, and we are holy, as we strive to be holy in your eyes, for now and forevermore. Amen. We're going to begin the Torah service on page 336. Yamod likvod haTorah. For the honor of the first Aliyah, I would like to call up the members of the Senior Rabbinic Search Committee who did a very good job to offer our Torah blessings. And I would also be honored for Dr. Henry Wadnicki to join us on the bima as he chants from the Torah. 338, excuse me.
ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el kol adad b'nei Yisrael, ve'amarta alehem kiddoshim tihyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem, ish imo ve'aviv tira'u, ve'ed shabbatotai tishmaru ani Adonai Elohechem al tifnu el ha'el ilolim ve'lohei masecha lo ta'asu lachem ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Rabbi Pomerantz said, this is one group I really want to hug. Yamod likvod haTorah. For the second Aliyah, I'd like to call up the members of the Shalom Rav Committee to offer our Torah blessings. And I'm honored to call up Nadia Baer to join us on the bima as she chants from the Torah.
So what we'll do is we'll call up a Misha Berak Aliyah. Anybody who is in need of a prayer of healing, please come on up here. Or if you have a loved one who's in need of a prayer, whether it's physical or spiritual, we will make this a Misha Berak Aliyah.
Amen. V'chi tizbechu zevach shlamim l'Adonai l'rtzonchem tizbechu b'yom zivchachem yachel u'mimacharat v'hanotar ad yom hashlishi ba'esh yisarev ve'im he'achol yachel b'yom hashlishi pigul lo yiratzeh.
Yeshar Kochach, that was beautiful. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors and the one who blesses our children bless and heal all those who we are about to name. And so I'll ask you to say the name of your loved one out loud. Ve'yishlach lechem rifuah shlema, rifuat hanefesh, v'rifuat haguf b'tok sha'ar cholei b'Yisrael, hashta bagala uvizman kari v'yimru amen. May God send them all a complete healing, a healing of the body and a healing of the soul, along with all those who are ill in the house of Israel and everywhere. And let us say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you. Maybe seat you may not. Yamod likvod haTorah. For the honor of the third Aliyah, I would like to call up the members of the Israel Committee to offer the Torah blessings, and I invite Nadia Bear to stay on the bima as she continues to read from the Torah beautifully. If there is anyone, this is a late add-on, anyone who has gone to Israel in the last year or will be going in this next year would like to come up and help lead this blessing, we invite you as well.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'ochlav avono yisa, ki et kodesh Adonai hillel, v'nicharta hanefesh hahi me'ameha, uvkutzerchem et katzir artzechem, lo techale patzatcha liktzor, katzircha lo telaket, v'karmecha lo telel, uferet karmecha lo telaket, leoni delager ta'azov otam, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yamod likvod haTorah. For the honor of the fourth Aliyah, I'd like to call up Myra Spindell, Rachel Unger, and Dennis Russ to offer the Torah blessings on behalf of the Social Justice Network, leadership, and its membership. I would also be honored for Matthew Tibby to join us on the bima as he chants from the Torah. And any members of the Social Justice Network may please come forward.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Lo tignovu velo tehahashu velo teshakeru ish ba'amito velo tishaveu bishmi la shaker vechilauta et shem elochecha ani Adonai lo ta'ashok et re'acha velo tigzol lo talin Peulat Sachir Itecha Ad Boker Lo Tekalel Heresh Velifnei Iver Lo Titan Michshol Ve'areta Me'elohecha Ani Adonai
b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Yamod likvod haTorah. For the honor of the fifth Aliyah, I would like to call up Karen and Mark Revo to offer our Torah blessings, and I'd be honored if Barb Shemansky, our director of the School for Living Judaism, would join us on the bima as she chants from the Torah.
Just a minute, let me see. Not that tall. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol amin. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Lo ta'asu avel b'mishpat, lo tisaf v'nedal, v'lo tehedar p'nei gadol, b'tzedek tishpot amitecha. Lo telech rachil be'amecha, lo ta'amod al damre'echa, Ani Adonai. Lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha, hocheach tochiach et amitecha, v'lo tisna alav chet. Lo tikom v'lo titor et b'nei amecha, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, ani Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yamod likvod haTorah. For the honor of the sixth Aliyah, I would like to call Nancy and Kenneth Ratson to offer the Torah blessings. I would also be honored for Rabbi Ethan Baer to join us on the bima as he chants from the Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Mipnei seva takum, v'harta pnei zaken, v'areta me'elohecha, ani Adonai, v'chi yagur itcha ger, v'artzechem lo tonu oto, ke'ezrach mikem, yihye lachem hager, hagar itchem, Ve'afta lo kamocha, ki gerim hayitem be'eretz Mitzrayim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu Torah emet. V'chayei olam nota b'tzolkenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yamod Likvod HaTorah. For the maftir, I would like to call up Arden and Jack Carson on behalf of their family to offer the Torah blessings alongside the Temple Beth Shalom Bakim, who will be reading for the maftir.
As long as I don't have to sing it like they do. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Lo tasu avel b'mishpat b'midah b'mishkol u'b'mesurah motznei tzedek avnei tzedek ephod tzedek vehi tzedek yeh lachem ani Adonai Eloheihem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim ushmartem et kol hukotai ve'et kol mishpatai va'asitem otam ani Adonai.
Wow. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Now we're all going to do the rest of the service in unison, in harmony. No, but it was beautiful. I'd like to ask the congregation to please rise as we will lift the Torah. I'd like to ask if you've been called for the honor of Hagban Galila that you please come forward and we join together.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה יה לה 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 לה
As is our tradition at Temple Beth Shalom, I now call upon our temple president, Jeff Graff, as he offers the blessings and the reading of the Haftarah this afternoon.
Every Yom Kippur afternoon, congregations all over the world read the book of Jonah. Most people believe that this Haftarah is chosen because it models complete repentance. From the king to each individual, by decree, everyone fasted and turned from their evil ways. God is so impressed with the atonement of the city of Nineveh that no evil comes upon them. Yet the book is named for Jonah, the only prophet to be chosen to warn the people outside of Israel of their impending destruction by God for their evil ways. Jonah decides not to accept what he believes is an impossible mission. Eventually, he realizes that it's futile to run and impossible to hide. Ultimately, he fulfills God's mission to warn people of Nineveh of their impending doom. But once his job is done, Jonah is still a very unhappy prophet. Rabbi Amy Perlin from Temple B'nai Shalom in Fairfax, Virginia, believes that we read Jonah on Yom Kippur afternoon to remind us that sometimes we are Jonah. We run, we're swallowed up, and we're spit out. We have times that the responsibilities of the world are thrust upon us, our shoulders, and we have times when we feel very much alone. Sometimes, just like Jonah, we feel that life is too much for us. Who wouldn't want to book a cruise, get on a ship, and run away from such burdens? Perhaps we are more like Jonah than even we want to admit. On Yom Kippur, this Day of Atonement and at-one-ment, it's time to be with yourself, emotionally and spiritually. It's a time to confront the fears and failures, pains and loneliness. Jonah had to realize that he was not being sent to Nineveh alone, without God, and we are not being sent into the new year alone. We can find the blessings before the Haftorah on page 342. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bin ve'im tovim ve'retza v'divrehem hanemarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'envi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. The Haftorah begins on page 344. Vahi devar Adonai el Yonah ben Amitai lemor kum lech el Nineveh ha'ir hagedola ukra alecha ki aleta ra'atam lefanai vayakom Yonah livroach tarshisha milifnei Adonai vayered yafo vayimsa oniyah batarshish vayiten secharav vayered ba lavo imahem tarshisha milifnei Adonai Vadonai hetil ruach gedola el hayam vahi sa'ar gadol bayam veha oniyah chishva lehishaver vayireu hamalachim vayizaku ish el Elohav vayatilu et hakelim asher ba'oniyah el hayam lehakel me'alehem ve'yonah yarad al el yarkatei hasefina vayishkav vayeradam vayikra velav rav hachovel vayomer lo malecha nirdam kum kera el Elohecha ulai yitashet ha-Elohim lanu velo noved vayomeru ish el Venapila goralot, venedea beshelemi, harazot lanu, vayapilu goralot, vayipol hagoral al Yonah. I continue with the prophet Micah on page 350. Mi'el kamocha nose avon ve'over al pesha li sherit na'alato lo hezik la'ad apo Ki hafetz chesed hu Yashuv Yerahamenu Yikbosh Avonotenu V'tashlich Bimsulot Yam Kol Hatov Tam Titen Emet LeYaakov Chesed la'Avraham, Asher nishbata lavotenu mimekedem. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Sor kol haolamim, Tzadik bechol hadarot, Ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber u'makayem, shechol devarav, emed v'tzedek, al ha'torah, v'al ha'avodah, v'al hanveim, v'al yom ha'kippurim hazeh, shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, limchila ve'lislicha, ulcha hara, Lechavod utifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umevarchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai tamid leolam vaed udvarcha emet vekayam la'ad Baruch ata Adonai Melech mohel v'soleach la'avonotenu, v'la'avonot amot beit Yisrael, u'ma'avir ashmotenu b'chol shana v'shana, melech ha'kol ha'aretz, mekadesh Yisrael, v'yom ha'kippurim.
Amen. Yasher koach. The rescued Torah that was brought in this afternoon by our incoming confirmation class was read by our confirmation class last year for their ceremony. It originated in a congregation located in Czechoslovakia and was permanently loaned to Temple Beth Shalom in honor of the 50th anniversary of Kristallnacht in 1988. Every year since then, the Temple Beth Shalom confirmation class has honored the memorial of the 6 million Jews lost in the Shoah by lovingly carrying in the scroll Yom Kippur afternoon as they did this afternoon, and then reading from it as they will later this year. Many of our confirmands traveled to Israel after their 10th grade year. This summer we had 14 of our teens travel to Israel, 9 of who will be speaking this afternoon. I'd like to call them up now. If you'll turn to page 357 and join me in a reading entitled, I Am Israel. All the generations before exist within me. All are present at this moment. Dwellers in tents and tenements, weavers, tailors, bankers, physicians, beggars dozing in a sunny corner, fruit sellers freezing in the market square, mothers and fathers in a tangled chain, all those who studied Torah, all those who settled the land, all those who were crammed into steerage, who broke the glass and circumcised their sons, 600,000 who stood at Sinai, 6 million souls who perished. Abraham, my father, Sarah, my mother, Joseph, my brother, Miriam, my sister, Moses, my teacher. Their voices speak in me. I am Israel. We've asked the teens to share with us something they've learned on their trip, something, the experience that they've had, and I think besides falafel, which we hear a lot of, I think you're going to be as moved as I was to read what these teens have to say.
Hello, I'm Jenna Groden, and I went on NIFTY in Israel this summer. Thank you to my parents and the temple for giving me that opportunity. The biggest lesson I learned during my first time in Israel this summer is that what makes me feel Jewish is the connection I have to my Jewish peers and people alike. I find that what feels special in my religious practice is the people leading prayer or my friends singing Jewish songs. The 4 Shabbats I spent in Israel were so impactful because we were all together. When I went to the Kotel, what interested me was how every woman on my side had different dress, different notes, and different ways of worship, yet we were all there to connect to God and send our well-wishers. Another place that I connected to was Mahen Yehuda Market. The first time I was there, my NIFTY bus split into groups and handled our way through buying pita for a picnic. Eating all of the Israeli food made me feel ethnically Israeli, and that was a cool experience. The second time I went, I only had 5 shekel, and it was to spend on a gift for someone on my group. It felt as if the trip wasn't just about my experiences anymore, but all of the highs and lows were to be shared with everyone. The third and final time I went to the market, I quickly glanced at a hole in the wall with one man in it. I realized he was praying in a synagogue. I see that we can find Judaism anywhere, whether it's with our friends, in a market, or in our homes. Our connection is from sea to sea, because of all of you. Thank you.
Shana Tova. My name is Benjamin Barker, and this past summer I attended Alexander Muss High School in Israel. HSI is a college prep program where teens like myself have the opportunity to study in the classroom and also on tiyul, or trips, where we learn at sites where history took place. Our enthusiastic and clever instructors made the classroom an innovative playground and made Israel our classroom. From Mount Masada to Sderot, from the Kotel to Yad Vashem, these experiences were enriching and transformative. While much of this was fascinating, I have to admit that my true connection to Israel came in the form of the friendships I made there. I met people from all over the country, not just from South Florida. Israel opened up my world in ways that I'm just beginning to understand.
Good morning, fellow congregants. My name is Shea Berman. This July, I had the amazing opportunity of participating in the Alexander Muss High School in Israel summer semester. Although I can talk for hours about how meaningful and life-changing this experience was, as today is one of the holiest days of the year, I would rather focus on an experience that changed my perspective on faith and the existence of God. You see, I am very disorganized. By the second day of HSI, I had already lost my wallet. Despite this happening a lot, I was devastated. After 6 hours with no sign of it, I began to bargain with God. Hashem, I begged as I tore open my suitcase for the 7th time, if you help me find my wallet, I promise that I will wear a kippah for the remainder of my time in Israel. Fortunately for me, God listened. Approximately 15 minutes later, I was reunited with my beloved possession. I immediately put on my head covering and planned to stay true to my promise for the rest of the summer. 2 days after I had lost my wallet, a kippah could no longer be found upon my head. To kick off the start of the session, our entire program went to an Israeli street party, everyone and everything returning except for my wallet. When I realized my wallet was gone, I immediately felt my head. My kippah was non-existent. You see, without immediate retribution for abiding by my pledge, I had quickly given up. I knew that the reason I had lost my wallet, which I never got back, was my failure in executing my oath to the higher power. To sum it up, my experiences in Israel over the summer can be described with 2 words: go there.
Happy New Year. My name is Noah Dorfman, and this past summer, I attended the Alexander Muss High School in Israel summer program. From being in HSI, I learned a lot about Israel's history and Israeli society. One of my most favorite experiences was going to the Western Wall on the 9th of Av. There were so many people there, and I felt important to be part of something larger than myself. Also, I learned that believing in God is a huge factor in Israeli history. And so going to Israel helped me better understand that move towards this belief. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adam Cohen, and like Jenna, I went on the Nifty experience. I had an incredible time over my summer in Israel. A most wonderful part of my experience was when I met kids from across the United States as well as Israel. They helped me learn about Israel and what it means to be Israeli. I first met the young Israelis at a beach where we all had a wonderful day swimming and riding on banana boats. The Israelis were just like us. We even ate burgers and fries for our first meal. However, as time went on, I couldn't help but notice how different our situations actually were. Although we both had AP classes and spoke English, our lives were very different. One Sunday afternoon, a question was posed to the Israeli kids. Had any of them ever experienced a life-threatening situation? Every single one of them had said yes, in only the short lifetime they had. Furthermore, most of my new Israeli friends had even lost someone close to them due to terrorism. Another difference was that as we prepare for college, they had to prepare for the army. The situation in Israel not only made me realize how different our situations were and made me appreciate the safety of my own country, but also that Israel is a great country, but not a perfect one. My new Israeli friends who inspired me because they accepted their problems and were determined to fix their situations in Israel. Now, the second experience that I learned was that Israelis are really tough, at least tougher than me. Although I was only there for one mere month, I got a fever, food poisoning, and then another fever, with one of the fevers being 104 degrees while I was stuck in the middle of the wilderness. I concluded that Israel is a powerful and amazing country, full of amazing people, emotionally and physically.
Hi, my name is Judah Deitch, and I spent this past summer at the Alexander Muss High School in Israel. Over the past several years, I sat in your seats and listened to my friends and brother share similar stories of their experiences. You know, the food, the long plane ride, the food, the bus rides, the hikes, and again, the food. Many have also said, and I agree, it was the best summer of my life. For me, the enduring lessons had to do with how we studied the history in classrooms, then experienced it throughout the country at some of the holiest places for our religion, and some of the most interesting. We visited the Western Wall on our second week. Our first visit was brief, and I felt like I was missing out on the many activities going on. Fortunately, we returned within a few weeks, and I was thrilled. This time, I had time to wrap tefillin, leave a note in the wall, pray, and I was able to join in song and dance with classmates and some strangers. It was more than just learning the history of the site. I connected with not only being Jewish, but with the Jewish people. When I left that night, I never wanted that feeling to stop. I now wear a Star of David necklace, something I never thought I would do. I carry Israel and my HSI experience with me daily. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marnie Vogel, and I went to the Alexander Muss High School in Israel this summer. Israel was one of the most amazing experiences ever, and I want to thank my mom and dad for giving me the opportunity to go there. I was able to experience a new culture, make new friends, and have the best time. Anybody thinking about going, I highly recommend. No matter what we were doing, it was always a fun time, from just sitting in the dorms to almost passing out on Masada. We were always surrounded by amazing people, so there was never a dull moment. The trips were so cool. We went through underground caves, hiked a lot of mountains, and I mean a lot of mountains. We went to a concert, went shopping, but my favorite trip was going to the Bedouin tents, where we slept in big tents and rode camels in the middle of the desert. We ate so much food. Our meals mostly consisted of schnitzel, pita, and falafel. Pita for breakfast, pita for lunch, just a lot of pita. I honestly can't put into words how much fun I had. Israel was so beautiful, and I made so many new friendships. I'm so glad I had the chance to go. It was a great learning experience, and I had the most amazing summer.
Hello, my name is Andrew Zayak, and one day about 6 months ago, my dad says to me, "You're going to Israel for the summer with Beth Shalom on the Nifty trip." Me, I say, "No way, Jose. No interest, not my plan. I want to chillax this summer and play Fortnite. I'm not going to Israel." I don't know anyone going, and the few that are going are doing high school in Israel, and I'm not going. Well, my dad says. I remember it was one of my best experiences of my life. I say, "Dad, listen, Olivia went 2 years ago, and she spent 90% of the time there in a bomb shelter, and that was one heck of an experience." They even sang her happy birthday as the bombs were exploding like fireworks special for her. What a great experience. Well, as it goes, summer was coming around the corner and not much was being planned. My grandma and grandpa Zayak said, go to Israel, we really want you to go. So here I was going to Israel on the nifty trip in a few weeks. I knew no one. The director gave me two choices: to join a bus that was all with Camp Coleman kids, or go on a random bus that had teenage Jewish kids from around the country. I said, if I'm going to do this, I might as well wing it. I flew to New York City by myself and met the group, kids from Ohio, Indiana, and Montana, and who knew there were Jews there. I thought the only thing in those states was corn and cattle. I have to admit, the first week in the land of milk and honey was far from sweet. I had some very close calls that could have been a disaster, but luckily my cool control style helped me make it through those days. All of the sudden, the magic that everyone talks about in the land of our people showed up. Under the stars in the desert, we as a group began to develop a bond that I have to admit was Israel special. Just the other day I told my dad that I missed the nifty trip and my friends, from walking up Masada for sunrise to the beaches in Eilat and Tel Aviv, shooting rifles with the soldiers that protect the motherland, crying at Yad Vashem, to studying our history all the way. I can truly say it was a great experience. For those unsure and possibly afraid, I say no way, Jose. Go find the magic the way I did. Shalom.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isaiah Sheridan, and I hope everyone is doing well today. Over the summer, I went to the Nifty in Israel trip for a month, and it was a very intriguing experience, to say the least. I learned a few things during my time on the other side of the world, and altogether, it was exposed completely to a group of people that I never met in my life, and I was traveling with them for that entire month. But one of the things I learned is my newfound connection to my family history and the landscape that is deeply embedded in my history and in Israel. Before I went on the trip, I wasn't really too interested in the origins of Judaism and how I personally was connected to it. But over the time, I experienced Israel for a month, and it ignited my curiosity. And since then, I haven't looked at Israel the same since then. Being able to visit it, it was really breathtaking. And looking back at it, although there were some struggles there during the trip, I think that it really changed me for the better. And I am returning one day. I do plan on it, but I wanted to at least go to Israel before I finish college next year. And I plan on going back on the Birthright once I finish college. Thank you.
We can all be so proud of our teenagers. Let's give them a round of applause. I also went on high school in Israel when I was 16, and I might not be standing here today if I hadn't, so you never know. We should really be proud of them, not only for their great speeches and their curious minds, but that of all the things they could have done this summer, from college prep programs to sports programs to jobs or internships, or as one of them said, chillaxing on the couch, playing Fortnite, they chose to go to Israel, to show up, to see the land with their own eyes, learn their heritage, feel Shabbat in Jerusalem, taste Israel's unique flavors, and plant trees with their own two hands, leaving a piece of themselves in Israel, just as Israel remains with them. And we can be proud that such a large delegation of youth goes to Israel from Temple Beth Shalom every single year, and that this experience is integral to what we do at synagogue, and that our congregation makes it possible for every single young person who wishes to go to Israel to go. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. Rabbi Kronish was an early and ardent Zionist, Rabbi Glickstein fanned the flame of our commitment to Israel, and I intend to continue to support Israel, to nourish our congregation's connection, and to figure out new ways to deepen Israel's impact on our congregation, just as we impact Israel. This year, I also had the great, fantastic privilege of going to Israel 2 times. The first time was with the Jewish Federation's mega mission for the historic event of Israel's 70th birthday. We were a delegation of well over 800 people, the largest delegation in Israel for, first of all, it was the largest mega mission ever, and it was the largest mission in Israel for Yom HaAtzmaut, for Israel's Independence Day. And I was so proud that Temple Beth Shalom showed up, that we had a full bus of members who went to Israel for that event, and another bus of Temple Beth Shalomers who went to Israel on our magical mitzvah tour this past summer. As many of you, or any of you who have been to Israel know, and as our teens who just had to figure out what to speak about can well appreciate, it's really challenging to pinpoint a most meaningful experience after you've spent time in Israel, when there are so many of them. But for me, what I keep coming back to is this moment I spent in Israel on Yom HaZikaron, which is Israel's Memorial Day. It's always observed back to back with Yom HaAtzmaut. As soon as Yom HaZikaron and the mourning for Israel's loss is over, we turn to celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut. But 2 times on Yom HaZikaron, there is a siren that is sounded. And wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you stop and you listen and you pay tribute to those who fell so that we might have a Jewish homeland. For Israelis, Yom HaZikaron is personal. Everyone is remembering a brother, a parent, a sister, a friend. They're all our own. So we began that day on Yom HaZikaron by touring Israel's Palmach Museum, which tells the story of Israel's earliest warriors. It was a ragtag army comprised of young people, a group of teens, some of whom were gaunt refugees who had just come over from Europe, and they gave their lives for our Jewish homeland. And just as we were exiting the Palmach Museum, the siren wailed. And there we stood with a group of soldiers, silent, paying tribute to men and women we never knew, but who had given their lives for us, for our people. Later that evening, for the siren's second wail, we attended a ceremony along with thousands of others at the Latrun Outdoor Tank Museum. And at that tekes, that ceremony, families shared their stories about their loved ones who had fallen. And there were beautiful photos of their shining faces projected to us all. And one story that was shared that evening has really stayed with me. It's a story of a young man named Sean Carmeli. And Sean grew up in Texas. And when he was in high school, like those young people who stood right behind me, he decided to make Aliyah. After graduating, he entered the Israeli army, and there in the army he was what's called a chayal boded, which means a lone soldier. The lone soldiers are those like Sean who have made Aliyah and who are in Israel by themselves. He served his newly embraced country in the Golani Brigade, and then in 2014, he was killed by terrorists in a Gaza attack. So when it came time for his funeral, his mother was worried that because he was a Chayal Boded, a lone soldier, without many friends or family in Israel, that the funeral would be so small that it wouldn't be a proper tribute for her son. And so knowing that, she posted a notice on Facebook inviting anybody to attend the funeral. And this was picked up by Sean's favorite soccer team, Maccabi Haifa, and they posted something about Sean's death on their Facebook page. And so the day of the funeral arrived, and the funeral his mother thought would be too small had 20,000 people show up. In this way, Sean's parents learned that everyone in Israel is family. After Sean's death, they too made Aliyah. For many of us, this has been a particularly challenging year with Israel. From the Jewish nation-state bill, which compromises the democratic spirit of Israel's Declaration of Independence, to a withdrawing of the government's support for the egalitarian space at the Kotel, to a ban on surrogacy rights for gay men, and more. We are discouraged, we are anxious, and we are afraid. Though there are many of us who would give up, who would easily condemn Israel on the same scale as other countries with tyrants who don't care about their people. People who would only use their anti-Zionism to mask their anti-Semitism. But we are here because we are not going to give up on Israel, and we will show up to support her in every means and every way we can. We must continue to support Israel's security against the enemies that surround her. We must continue to make our voices heard through our letters and contributions. And like those Israelis who showed up for that funeral, we must show up because we care. And that's how we demonstrate how much Israel matters to us. So this year, I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Not just buy an Israeli bond as we do every year, but 3 things. The first is, of course, to buy an Israel bond. Buy the bond. We ask you to support Israel's bond because investing in Israel will ensure that your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren will be able to witness the miracle of Israel with their own eyes, and will safeguard Israelis like Sean Carmeli. So we ask you to buy a bond. That's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is what Shay said at the end of his speech. Go. Just go. Show up for Israel. Join this summer's Israel trip, Israel Biyachad, Israel Together, that we're taking in June. Breathe Israel's air. Connect with your family there. Witness with your own eyes the technological innovations, the creativity, the tasty food, the amazing marriage of ancient history with a modern, thriving society. You ready for the third thing? This year, for the very first time, we are asking you to support Israel in another way as well. You know, we are part of this greater network of Reformed Jews, not only in this country, but all over the world, and even in Israel. And right now, those progressive Jews in Israel need our support. They need our vocal support, and they need our monetary support. So you have envelopes at your seats that say the name ARTSA on them. ARTSA is the American Reform Zionist Association, and they have created a campaign for religious equality. This campaign is to support equality, democracy, and religious pluralism in Israel. In October, we will have the great privilege at our congregation of welcoming Israel's leader of Reform Judaism, Rabbi Gilad Kariv. He is a rock star, he is brilliant, charismatic, and he will spend a Friday night and Saturday morning with our congregation. It's either going to be the 12th or the 19th, so I can't tell you which one, but we will make sure you know. We hope you come for that. So my friends, do all three of those things or just do one of them, but do something. Let everyone know what it means to show up for Israel, please. So we're going to take a few minutes now for you to fill out the paperwork at your seat, and we're going to ask our incoming confirmation class and our outgoing confirmation class to collect whatever you write. The letters to ARTSA, the envelopes to ARTSA, we're happy to collect them here and mail them for you if you want. If you don't have an envelope and you want one, raise your hand and we'll try to find one for you.
Oh
I apologize that we did not seem to have enough envelopes. So if you did not get an envelope that you wanted to on your way out, perhaps you can see Howard Broad or Mark Baranek, and maybe they will be able to find some. We are going to continue our service on page 540 with the singing of Eli, Eli. And as we sing, I'm going to invite you to rise because our students are going to be carrying the Holocaust scroll out of the sanctuary, just as they carried it in. Page 546. You may be seated. The traditional Yizkor prayer asks God to remember the souls of our loved ones and to shelter them for eternity. But the Yizkor service on Yom Kippur has significance beyond the prayer itself. This is a moment set apart for solitary reflection, an opportunity to fulfill a sacred obligation, and it is a time to feel the physical and emotional closeness of community, the presence of other people who know what we have been through because they have been through it too. At Yizkor, we see the sorrow in one another's eyes. As the number 7 is a Jewish symbol of wholeness and holiness, our Yizkor service offers 7 ways to reflect on loss and memory, grief and healing. We choose, alone and together, from among these diverse lights. And as you'll see up on our bima, we have our sacred menorah, which goes all the way back to ancient times. The very first menorah was in the Israelites' tabernacle. And each of these lights will be lit by members of our congregation who have experienced a profound loss this year. They light these candles on behalf of all of us and all of our losses. We continue on page 552. My dead, they alone are left me, they alone still faithful, for now death can do no more to them. At the bend of the road, at the close of day, they gather around me silently and walk by my side. This is a bond nothing can ever loosen. What I have lost, what I possess forever. Separation. Your absence has gone through me like thread through a needle. Everything I do is stitched with its color. I invite up those who have been asked to light the first candle as we listen to the song, "'Tis a Fearful Thing."
Based on the poetry of the late Rabbi Chaim Stern. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, for your laugh once lifted me, for your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing to love, to love. Death has touched.
Page 557. The courage that my mother had. The courage that my mother had went with her and is with her still. Rock from New England quarried, now granite on a granite hill. The golden brooch my mother wore, she left behind for me to wear. I have no thing I treasure more, yet it is something I could spare. Oh, if instead she'd left me the things she took into the grave, that courage like a rock which she has no more need of, and I have. I'll ask those who've been asked to light